One time. Enough
is enough.
One more time.
Enough is enough.
Let's shout it out.
Enough is enough.
One more time.
Enough is enough.
Let's go do it.
President of Lee County now, and I'm also involved with the Women's March, and I wear a hat, a leadership hat with Indivisible. And I'm a volunteer with Lee County Dems. God, there's so much work to do. I hope you'll all step up. You can postcard, you can door knock, you can make phone calls, you can do lick drops at doors where you don't have to talk to anybody. You grab a pal and you go out, and we provide the literature. Everything's done for you. Please stand up and volunteer. It's the only way we're going to get people to turn out and vote. And if we get a bigger turnout, especially in this primary, we can really make a difference in terms of getting some of our folks elected, even in this very red county that we have. I'm going to ask if anybody here has some thoughts they want to share, but I just wanted to share a few thoughts of my own. You know, I have an adopted daughter. I lost a baby to a genital disease that I couldn't pre-diagnose in those days. Now I could, and that would have been a selection and an option for me not to carry that baby, who died at 3 weeks old. I also have a birth daughter, and I have 2 adopted kids. So I know about motherhood, and I tell you, motherhood should be choice.
Yes.
According to the Supreme Court, they can force people to become mothers. We can force children who have been raped to carry those babies, and even in some cases they have given custody or shared custody to the rapist. Honestly, we are completely, as a country now, I mean, women's rights are really being shut down, shit on really. And we've been fighting for an equal rights amendment for over 100 years now. And we're so close.
And these two want to
my
talk.
name's Audrey Nelly. I'm a mother of 4 children. They're all adults. They were all chosen to be here. One is 54, my stepdaughter. My stepson's 51. My bio children are 38 and 29. At the age of 13, I was raped. I didn't know it was rape. It was my neighbor. I knew him. I had a crush on him. He laid me down and he raped me. I became pregnant. My parents were Catholic. I was a bad girl. I didn't tell them until I was about 20 weeks pregnant. I didn't even know I was pregnant. I didn't know how you became pregnant. And my parents, who were vehemently opposed to abortion, took me right off to Miami and bought me an abortion. Had I had birth control, had I had education, had I known, I could have had an abortion sooner. But at no point should I have been forced to birth a baby at age 13. And I appreciate every single one of you out here fighting for our right to health care. Thank you.
I'm a nurse practitioner, and I think we're forgetting a very important part of all of this. We're pro-choice, we're pro-choice. We haven't even provided health care in this country. We're more concerned with gun rights than we are with health care. I was a 22-year-old unmarried mother in Southwest Florida that wasn't going to have a baby. I went to a local clinic and met a very kind man who saw the tears on my eyes at the last moment of my decision making in a gown in one of the most vulnerable places in my life. And he said to me, "You don't have to do this. I can take care of you either way." I chose to walk out of there that day and have my daughter on my own. It was not an easy decision. There were people yelling outside of that clinic, much like the person yelling now, throwing pamphlets in a car as I cried with my best friend, wondering how I was going to pull this off and tell my parents, a dad who was a minister, who was very active in protests for the other side. It was not an easy road. I went back to college with the support of my family, but the judgment of the church. There are many women who don't have that kind of support. And taking away health care is only going to take away access for women who don't have money and resources. Healthy families have always had access to abortion rights. And limiting it to certain areas is going to limit women from choices like possibly Audrey was talking about at 13, or my 10-year-old daughter who got her period and could have been a mom but would have been absolutely unprepared. The flip side is we talk a lot about there never really is a choice between a woman's life and a baby's life, and that's just not true. I was a woman that was told carrying another child would kill me because of heart complications. I work in the NICU. I see mothers who have to make a choice to deliver early to save their life and have very premature babies. I love babies, but that choice to deliver is between a woman and her doctor.
My name is Candace Grace, and I am a born and raised local. At the age of 27, here in Southwest Florida, I got an ablation and a tubal ligation, having never had children, because I didn't want to birth a baby with the same allergies and birth defects that I carry genetically. If I was to get pregnant before I had that, my cancer would have come back, and it would have come back more aggressive. Here in Southwest Florida, there are doctors who will give you an ablation and a tubal ligation, having never had children. If you find me, I will come tell you who that doctor is and help you get that procedure. Find me anywhere. Again, my name is Candace Grace. You can find me on Facebook. I am happy to assist anyone in finding these doctors that will help. Planned Parenthood is amazing, but maybe for whatever reason, you cannot get to a Planned Parenthood. You don't want your family seeing that you've been to a Planned Parenthood, or are just scared. There are other ways not to denounce Planned Parenthood in any way, shape, or form, okay?
Hello. My name is Margaret Hester, and I am 81 years of age. I can remember when, instead of an abortion, you found a tech who took a hanger and cut it up in a way to pierce the fetus so that you would have an abortion. I don't want to see that happen to anybody else again. We must have better abortion. Thank you.
My name is Marsha Ellis, and I just want to put a different perspective on things, because America has been in this position before. After the Dred Scott case, which was put before the Supreme Court to settle the slavery issue, the Supreme Court ruled for the states to make that decision. The backlash from the country was so harsh at the ballot box. It changed this country forever. This argument of states' rights is the same argument that will take away your access to contraception. It will take away your privacy in your bedroom. It will take away your ability to marry someone of a different race. And it will take your civil liberties. States' rights are a vehicle of segregation, and the only way that this country ever escaped that trap was through federal intervention. There are no rights if there are unequal rights in this country. We cannot tolerate some states having equal rights for their citizens and other states not. This is a way to divide our country, and wake up. Everyone wake up. We have to vote. We have to turn the tide just like they did after Dred Scott. We have to. We have a responsibility. You cannot set out this election. You cannot set out this election regardless of whether you're a woman, if you're a minority, if you fall into any category. What's up? You use contraceptive? You had better be standing up for your ability to have equal access. They are dividing this country by putting these legal arguments back with the states, and we have to stop it now. Do not back down. Every day you find a way. We all have power. We have economic power. You find those companies that support this agenda, and you don't spend a damn dime on their products. Maybe we shouldn't spend a dime for a week. Let's see how that goes. Y'all think you can give up spending a dime for a week for this cause to save this country? We all have power. There's always something we can do. You gotta move it up to the top of your agenda right now, today. Act up and don't stop.
tonight, but I want to reiterate a few things that are really important. This is just the beginning of the attack on our rights, on our human rights. The next, I'm a lesbian. Am I next? Are you transgender? Are you gay? Are you a person of color? Are you next? These laws that are being passed are racist. Let's name it. Let's name it. This is racist. Who's going to be able to afford to have an abortion? Rich people. My mother was rich. She got pregnant before she got married and had 8 kids. But she had a lot of money. So my dad took her to Tijuana and she had an unsafe abortion. Luckily, she survived it and I got born. Okay? So now there's 8 of us today agitating across the country in my family for women's rights. And I want to say that it's really, really important that we support Planned Parenthood, that they continue to keep their doors open and to do what they do to give health care to women who can't afford it, who need birth control. Do we want birth control taken away from us? No! Well, that's next on the list, I believe. Okay? So let's listen to what was that wonderful fiery woman that was just up here? We need to act up right now. We need to fight back. We need to not quit. And I love it that we need to normalize abortion, birth control, and sex education with all of our children.
Hi everybody. I'm sorry that this is how we will have to meet today, but thank you for everybody for coming out. I'd just like to say really quickly to all of the men here and to everybody else, I suppose, the Supreme Court today decided to throw the full weight of the law behind generations of future rapists. Make sure you stand up and you fight back. And don't let them have this victory. Thank you.
I'm Riley. I was raised to be like a very accepting person. I've always been that way. I've been very appreciative of the people that have raised me that way. My family fostered kids growing up, so over the past 8 years, I probably had 62 different foster children in my house. And we've had nights where we would get phone calls from I'm blanking on the name right now, but they would call us saying basically, is there any way you can pick up the sibling group, otherwise they're going to have to sleep on the office floor? And we would go every single time that we possibly could, and we'd have 6 or 8 kids in our house just so we could make sure nobody had to sleep on an office floor. And people are trying to take away the right for people to have the choice to be a mother, and there's going to be more kids having to sleep on freaking floors. And it's really so hopefully we can figure something out. This is really ridiculous.
My name is Rob. I'm with the Young Democrats of Lee County. We exist. This decision that the Supreme Court has made is violence. People will die because of this decision, and we know that. They are terrified when they see young people who know what's going on and who are not scared to put their careers, their futures, their families, their friendships at stake.
Enough